Welcome back, Stephanie. It's been a few weeks for us.
Yes, we went on vacations.
I did a little research, and
you shouldn't do that. Cheater.
I found out that this game has 600,000 words in it. So, if I remember correctly, that's double the Odyssey.
Is it really? It's one of those things where it's like, oh, write an essay with this many thousand words. I'm like, I don't know how long that is. But no, the Odyssey is a good point of reference because I do remember.
For reference, The Fault in Our Stars by John Green is 60,000 words. So this is 10 of that. I think this game is longer than John Green's entire...
everything he's ever written.
Everything he's ever written combined. Granted, there are alternate routes and whatnot, so we're not going to see all of those words, but Jesus Christ.
We're going to see most of the words.
We're going to see a lot of words. Anyway, right now we're seeing a dark room.
A dark, dark room in a dark, dark house. Dark, dark woods.
I open my eyes, and blearily I can make out the dark cabin room. My heart sinks again at realizing where I'm at, but it's more subdued this time. Guess I'm getting used to my new life. My mouth is dry, very dry, and I feel like I need to find water or I'm not going to go back to sleep. Yes, that's just normal waking up at night.
Yeah, but this is more scary because I'm not sure about how finite resources are. And that sandwich that we last had was made out of chalk or whatever. So what's the water going to be made out of?
Yeah, he's slept a few times now, huh? And he's like, have you had a drink yet?
Yeah, I was going to say,
you only live so long.
We kind of glanced over that. And also, is there a bathroom?
Yeah, do biological rules apply really at this point?
To this purgatory, yeah.
And whatever this is, I do wonder. I sit up. Carl's moved back to his side of the bed at this point, lying out on his back, snoring. Quietly, I get out of bed, wincing at how creaky the floorboards are. I make my way down the stairs, eyes adjusting to the point where I can barely make out the ledges. When I reach the ground level, I see that Raven is splayed out on the carpet, snoring as well.
Just on the ground?
Yeah, there's only one bed, I guess.
Like a true dog.
Like a dog.
As I look down at my dog doing splayed out on the carpet.
With the same color scheme.
Yeah.
He's just very accommodating. I shake my head before moving to the kitchen. Listen, he just wants things to work out. Last time he settled for sitting on the shitty ottoman at the foot of the bed or whatever.
Everything's fine. You guys don't fight.
Jenna isn't there, and I wonder where she might be at. Was she in that other room upstairs? Maybe I just missed her when I was distracted by Raven. Looking around, I see a small cup sitting on the table. I'm almost positive it hasn't been there before, but maybe Raven or Jenna had set it there. Walking over to it, I'm relieved to see that it's filled with what looks like water. I pick it up and sniff at it, not really getting a hint of anything. Tentatively, I take a sip and immediately spit it out.
Vodka.
It's salty, putrid. It tastes like... I jump, and some of the liquid splashes to the floor. Gingerly, I set down the cup, looking into the opposite room. Everything is still in the other room. I can't even hear Raven snoring anymore. This time I see the wardrobe move, the door specifically. I stare, wide-eyed. Everything falls still again, but I don't dare move. Jenna? I whisper loudly. It wouldn't make any sense why she'd be in there, but who else could it be? Ghosts, of course. I'm about to take a step forward, toward the stairs maybe, or at least wake Raven up, but that's when the small door cracks open. I freeze, all of the fur on my body standing up. James? Words die on my tongue as something long and black slides out from behind the door. It dips down towards the ground, and only then does it vaguely take the shape of a foot. Another long, black tendril follows, slightly ahead of the first one. When it touches the ground, it takes the shape of a hand, resting flat on the wooden floor. I choke and start to back away, but then the door explodes open, and I'm just barely able to make out a galloping black shape before it engulfs me. I collapse back onto the ground, twisting, trying to scream, but the thing is completely covering and smothering me. I choke and gag, feeling like I'm being suffocated, my arms pinned to my sides, my legs rigid. As I try to yank away from the thing, it feels like something is freed from my mouth and I'm able to scream. Help! Get it off me! Help!
Chase!
The surface underneath me becomes soft. The thing on top of me is warm. Through bleary eyes, I look up at Carl, just able to make out the curve of his horns. Carl? I hear movement at the doorway, and I glance in the direction to find Jenna standing there, hackles raised, teeth bared. Jenna? Before I know what exactly is going on, Jenna sprints across the room and jumps on the bed. Carl doesn't even have time to turn around before she snatches him up by the horns and yanks his head back violently. The ram lets out a choked sound as he's dragged back and thrown to the floor. Jenna jumps off the bed after him. From the sounds of it, she lands on him. What follows is a series of thuds and smacks. Weakly, I pull myself to the foot of the bed, still completely disoriented.
I knew it, you motherfucking piece of shit!
What I see is Jenna sitting on Carl's back, swinging her fist into his head while the ram tries to cover up.
You haven't changed at all.
Jenna, stop. I was like, changed at all? I'm like, what the fuck? What did Carl ever do? And then I remember like, oh, it's because it's John B. Gay.
Yeah, because they're channeling.
Also, you know what the biggest hint was? That the dream was a dream? I just clocked it.
What?
Chase can't walk.
Oh, yeah! I forgot!
I just registered, I'm like, oh, that was a really big hint that was clearly a dream that was happening. It's like, he can't walk right now.
Oh, I totally forgot.
He just casually walked downstairs for a drink of water. I roll off the bed, confused as to why I'm so weak. Pain shoots up my leg again, but this time I barely notice it. There's something around Jenna, something big and black, like a shadow, making her look much bigger than she actually is. Her fists swing and hit Carl with a force I didn't think she was capable of. Then she grabs Carl by the horns again and yanks back before slamming his face back into the floor. Jenna! I lunge forward, trying to put myself between the two of them. Underneath me, Carl has gone limp. Just like Jenna, there's something black and shadowy around him as well, but it's fading, moving away. Jenna's still trying to get at Carl, reaching around me and snarling in my ear, a sound that makes my fur stand on end. Then she's gone. I look to my left and see Jenna being drawn back by Raven, his eyes wide with shock. What are you doing?
Poor Raven, get out of this.
Jenna
Stay away.
Jenna struggles in the husky's grasp.
I saw him. He was trying to fuck the otter.
The otter? Jenna, stop. He was helping me. Raven continues to try and pull Jenna towards the door, but she continues to struggle. I was having a nightmare. Jenna's struggling, losing some of its vigor, but she continues to snarl in Carl's direction. Raven, please, get her out of here. The shadow around Jenna seems to shrink, and her face shows more doubt as she stares at the crumpled form of Carl. After a moment, she seems to let the husky lead her from the room, and I hear soothing tones from Raven as he leads her down the stairs.
Oh.
I turn back to Carl, who has his arms around his head, face still buried in the ground. After a while, I see his shoulders heaving with sobs. Gently, I pull one of his arms back and he looks up at me. This time I recognize his face. I sit next to Carl on the bed, mopping up his face with his bloodied button-up shirt. He sits there, silently, looking at his hands while I work. At least nothing's broken.
Oh, bloody shirt, Carl. Dude, what happened?
I'm not sure if he's talking about what happened with Jenna or just everything. I've been asking that same question since we got here. He looks at his hands again.
I felt different.
I sit back and look him over, satisfied with having cleaned up most of his face. You were acting different too.
Like, I felt like I knew everything. I knew what I was doing.
You were acting really confident. I agree and set his bloody shirt off to the side. You agree?
That he was acting different?
With myself? I'm just like,
oh,
I guess that's just like describing what I said.
Yeah, I guess that is true.
When I look back at him, he seems so sad and beaten down that I have to hug him.
Dude, you're gonna make me start crying again.
His voice cracks, but he hugs back anyway. I'm just glad you're back. I felt like I was talking to a stranger. Never be confident again.
Yeah, ew. If you're too confident, it's not you anymore.
Carl leans against me and sighs.
I don't know if I'm glad, though. It's like I just came down from a huge high.
I rub his shoulder for a while before I venture forward with my guess. Was it James?
I don't know. Maybe.
Carl looks at his hands again, like he's questioning if they're even his.
I just felt like I knew what I wanted, and when things didn't go the way I thought they would, I'd get really pissed.
He's silent for a while. I imagine contemplating what he'd just gone through. Jenna isn't really acting like herself either.
No kidding.
She's the caretaker of the group.
Yeah, they established that and like threw it out the window like immediately.
Yeah. Carl looks up at that.
Yeah, I felt like whatever was in me, whatever it is, really hates what Jenna is doing. For some reason.
Carl looks around at the room, scanning it with his dark green eyes.
I feel like all of this is some kind of mental fight between James and whatever else is fighting against him.
He looks back down at his hands.
That's why we have to do all of this.
He falls back into silence, and I don't ask any more questions, wanting to let him rest a bit. There is one nagging thought that comes to my mind, though. This is kind of stupid, but what happened back in the mansion? You know, that thing between us? He looks up at me, and I feel my face flush, looking away. I guess I'm wondering if any of that was real. I mean, if it was really you feeling that way. Carl doesn't say anything, so I'm forced to look up at him. When I do, he has a sad sort of smile on his face.
Dude, I think that was the only part of me that was real.
Aww.
Oh.
Despite where we are, despite everything that's happening, that somehow makes me incredibly happy.
How big his hands are. I don't know why, I never looked at it in this, when he does this expression, but his hands are so big.
I don't know how often we get to see this expression.
This is a cute one, because it's very,
it's all bashful.
Bash.
He's holding his own horn.
It's like I said, it's like somebody playing with their hair.
Yeah.
It's very tee-hee-hee.
Happy enough to lean forward and kiss him.
Well, do it.
He kisses back, and while it's barely more than a peck, it has my entire body feeling warm. He puts his own arm around me after I pull back, and I rest my head on his shoulder.
Just squish that blood right between your bodies. I feel like it's gonna try to come back, though.
I look at him. What? James?
Whatever it is, I can already feel it. Like it's on the edge of my mind.
Do you think you can fight it? Carl sighs, then looks at me.
Should I?
What do you mean?
I mean, it made me feel amazing. Like I could do anything. Maybe we need that.
I frown. I don't know.
Not only that, but I felt like I knew what to do. It might save us.
He stares back into my eyes.
I know it's not really me, but it'll probably only be for the time that we're here.
I look away, thinking.
Then I'll be back to my old self.
He squeezes my shoulder.
But it's important to me what you think. We're in this together.
Oh, boy.
Oh no, this seems this seems like a big decision.
Yes.
Oh shoot. It's not like a Amicus, look at his dick or don't look at his dick. This is a much more important decision.
This is so much more heavy than dick. Yeah, that's worrying. I feel like
like I don't know what to do because I think he has a really good point, but I'm worried he's not going to turn back. And so I feel like if we...
I also feel like it enables his worst tendencies because he would want somebody else to make the decisions for him.
I think we should tell him to not do that because I think knowing Carl's character, he needs to build his own self-confidence, so he needs to be able to figure this out on his own without a crutch. But then also, like, he keeps relating it to being high, and it's already something that he relies on a lot, so I think they're making a connection between his, like, dependency on weed to his dependency on like, having this ghost do his bidding for him, making him feel good.
Him relinquishing control as a crutch.
Yeah. I like, there are, like, times where, like, I enjoy, like when it comes to like smoking weed or whatever, it's like the lack of responsibility is nice. Like there's just some sort of like, oh, I don't have to, I am now not responsible for these things. Or like if you drink something, like if you get drunk, you're like, oh, I don't have to worry about anything because I'm not at this point able to be responsible. Thus, I do not have to make decisions. Thus, my life is easier. So it's on someone else now. Haha. And I feel like that's like the same thing with this. Where I think he likes to do it for the same reason because he doesn't have to feel responsible for anything if he's like checked out. So I think we need to tell him to not do that. He needs to kind of work around this.
Fight it, Carl.
Fight it, Carl.
No. Whether or not it made Carl feel good, I can't shake the bad feeling it gives me. I rest a hand on his. No. After everything that's happened, I don't trust whatever it is. Carl watches me closely. Seriously, we need to be more careful. Besides, I lean my head against his shoulder again. We are in this together. We don't need that thing meddling with us to get through it. I feel some of the tension go out of Carl's muscles, and we wrap each other more tightly into our respective embraces. We sit there for a while, Carl absorbing what I just said. It's clear that whatever is influencing Carl and probably Jenna is powerful, and we had to be careful. Whatever he decides, I just pray it's the right decision. This is such a dark setting.
Both literally and figuratively.
I anticipate people on certain phones and devices or badly calibrated TVs to being like, I can't see anything. And it's like, I don't know, man, fix it. Fix your contrast settings. It's the bad.
Well, I mean, even for us, like, I feel like it is pulling the horror movie tactic of having things be ambiguous because in terms of not being discernible. Because that makes things scarier. Like even us here.
But that's clearly like that's a hearth with a picture frame over it, and then like there's a few things on the shelf above it.
But you can't really tell what those things are.
No.
Like basically, I think a lot of these people.
They were already blurry photos before they were dark.
I think a lot of people were like, "Oh, I can't see anything." Are probably just seeing as much as we are, and not realizing that we're not seeing shit either.
Yeah.
It's just a part of the aesthetic.
There's a bed with a smiley face made out of pillows.
Yeah, I don't really understand what those little white tufts are.
I think those are 2 pillows and then a sheet at the bottom, but they could also all be some kind of little things.
I think having completely white pillows is brave.
Yeah.
But I also wear
the hotel.
eyeliner, so like the amount of times I've gotten eyeliner on my pillows is pretty significant.
Yeah, there's a frame above the bed that might be a mirror. I think it's a window behind the lampshade. You can like make out the room. So if you can't see all that, it's your fault.
Yeah, get good.
Be better at stuff.
Yeah, tell your phone, laptop, whatever to get good.
I wake up groggily, my head throbbing a bit from laying it on the stiff pillow. The last time I woke up, it takes me a while to realize where I am. Like the last time I woke up. And just like last time, I get a sinking feeling in my stomach when I realize where that is. I lay on my side, staring at the wall in front of me, watching shadows dance along the log bumps. It's depressing, though not as much as last time. At some point, I guess I realized that there wasn't much I could do. Just go with it and hope something comes of it. At least there seemed to be a goal in mind of whatever had control of this. Whatever it was. Suddenly I feel an arm slide over my hip and I stiffen. Carl breathes into the back of my neck.
You okay?
I feel the soft warmth of Carl's body press up against my back. It's been a long, long time since I felt someone spoon me.
I love being the little spoon.
Thinking about Leo, though, only makes my stomach knot up even more.
Kiki knows that, and that's why she tries to spoon me all the time.
Yeah. Carl picks up on it right away. His broad muzzle sneaks over my neck, and soon he's pressing his cheek against mine. Can he do that with horns?
I was just thinking about the logistics of this.
I can feel him hesitating as he does it. His movement's kind of jerky and awkward.
Probably because he has the horns.
I almost laugh, but I have to remind myself that Carl probably hasn't done this before. At least not since high school. Definitely not with a guy, at least. A hand slides over my side, close to my crotch. He doesn't go lower, though, and keeps it pressed against my body. It feels nice, having someone close to me like this. Even though I've given up on trying to understand the situation, I'm still scared about what's happening. I can feel Carl's heart beating hard against my back, and I wonder if he's thinking about the same things. That's when I feel his very hard dick pressing against my ass.
I was gonna make a comment on the last line about like, oh, something hard against your back, huh?
I almost laugh again. Here I am in the haunted ghost cabin, and my childhood friend is grinding up on me.
Hey man, that always happens in scary movies.
Carl feels me tense up, and lifts his hand away from my stomach.
Sorry, is this not...
I roll over abruptly to face him, taking out one of my eyes on his horn. He really needs to get like tennis balls on the ends.
Yeah.
His green eyes immediately look away from mine, and I see red creeping underneath the thin fur of his ear. I decide to go with the same technique I used last night, and slide up against his soft body before pressing my lips against his. That seems to break the ice, and he immediately responds, pressing his tongue against my lips before I open them to let them in. Carl's surprisingly good at tongue kissing. Better than Leo was, anyway.
Damn! Talking smack about the ex-boyfriend.
Poor Leo, I'm just figuring that he's gonna... I figure any arc that has romance in it, Chase is gonna think stuff like this. Just keep dunking on Leo over and over again.
It like doesn't matter like which arc you picked. Like he just says something mean about Leo in every arc.
Like, It glides over my tongue before flicking against my teeth. I'm momentarily worried about how I haven't brushed for at least 2 days now, but Carl doesn't seem to mind.
It's pretty gross.
He hasn't either, after all.
Gross morning breath kissing.
He wraps his hands around my back, sliding one under my body so that he can wrap me in a full embrace. The feeling of being enveloped in Carl's soft and strong warmth makes my heart skip a beat, and pretty soon I'm just as hard as he is. While his hands toy with my tail, I get to work running my own hands under his shirt, sliding them along his firm belly before pushing his shirt up. Carl tenses and giggles.
Oh fuck, that tickles.
I pause and smirk at him. I've barely touched you. I give his stomach a light prod, and he curls up a bit more, grabbing my wrist.
Oh, dude, I think I'm not used to being touched like.
I apply both hands this time, running them like spiders up his stomach and chest.
Dude, no!
He twists and writhes under my hands, desperately trying to stifle his giggles before finally snatching on my hands by the wrists.
Dude, I throw fists. I hate being tickled. I punch people over it. Like, I'm like, fucking stop.
Punch people over it.
Like, I'll laugh.
K.O.
I'll laugh and laugh and laugh, and I'm like, I said fucking stop! And then I slug him.
I'm reminded of how strong he is when he easily rolls me to my back, straddling my hips as he pins my hands above my head.
You asshole.
Carl's breathing heavily, letting out a little giggle every now and then. Sorry, I've just never seen someone get so. I pause as I hear some movement from downstairs, followed by what sounds like Raven's voice. I'm reminded of our situation when I see some flakes of blood around Carl's nose and the big splotches on his shirt.
Yeah, you guys are in kind of a serious situation. I guess we're being a little loud.
Yeah. How's your nose? Carl automatically raises a hand to touch his nose.
Hurts a little bit, but I'm okay.
That's good. I lay there in silence for a few seconds, feeling like the moment is kind of ruined.
Yeah, thanks, Raven.
And also Horror Mansion. Ugh.
Yeah,
I look again at the walls, remembering that we should be looking for something instead of messing around like this.
What you looking at?
Not sure. Hey, we should be finding something, right? My crotch is still getting a little uncomfortable under the weight of Carl's body. I mean, didn't that ghost, ancestor, whatever it was, tell you we needed to find stuff? Carl rubs his nose.
Yeah. In the last place we were in, at least.
I guess it would be the same for this place, right? Unless it was what we already burned up.
Yeah.
Carl sits there quietly, thinking, well, I think I might try to look downstairs. You want to stay up here and look around?
Don't split up, gang.
Well, also, like, you should take the don't walk choice.
Oh, that is a good point. I keep forgetting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to get the other two to start looking, too.
Yeah, have we figured out if Jenna's, like, sane yet? Is she still, like, snarling down there? Did Raven have to tie her to a chair? Like,
well, maybe he's trying to keep them separate. The threat of Jenna hangs heavy in the air, and the way we're both obviously avoiding it makes it all the heavier.
What about your ankle?
I flex it around, the twinge a lot less sharp now, though the stiffness feels even worse. I think I'm okay. Let me try it out.
Okay.
Carl sits there for a while longer, then seems to realize that he needs to get off so I can get up. Or I can get off and then I get up. He scrambles off awkwardly as I sit up and swing my legs over the side of the bed. Pressing my foot to the door, the twinge that runs through my ankle is minuscule. The floor. Whoops. Standing up, I'm able to put some pressure on it before it hurts too much. The problem is that I can't bend the joint at all, leaving me with an obvious and lumbering limp. I think I'm okay.
Can I get you down the stairs at least?
I warm to the concern in Carl's voice, though I don't really want him and Jenna anywhere near each other. Especially after what she might have heard just now.
Oh yeah, because you guys are being risky up here.
Yeah.
Fooling around when angry Jenna Ghost is down there angry about you fooling around.
Nah, I want to test it out a bit more. I turn my head to look back at Carl, and I still see a worried look on his face. I'll call you if I need any help, okay? Carl purses his lips.
Alright.
The trip down the stairs is ponderous and awkward. I'm probably loud, too, because when I reach the bottom, I find both Raven and Jenna already staring at me. Hey. Hey! Jenna doesn't say anything, continuing to watch me. We stare at each other awkwardly for a bit before she finally moves her head to look down at my leg.
How's your leg?
It's alright. A bit stiff, though. I grasp at the opportunity to talk about anything other than what we're obviously avoiding. I think I should be able to walk normally, maybe, in a few days.
Hopefully in a few days we'll be out of here, so you can do that.
Yeah. Jenna is definitely not herself right now. Her eyes are vacant, dull, and... it's hard to explain, but they lack the mischievous and compassionate look that I'm used to seeing. Her voice is weird, too. It's deeper, more husky, but not that one. We'll be out of here by then. Raven says it with a grin as he leans back in the chair he's sitting in. Yeah, actually, I wanted to talk to you guys about that. About what? About how to get out of here.
And how do we do that?
Well, I was thinking that the last time we were able to unlock the door, all we had to do was find that letter. Raven blinks at me. So, we find a letter? Or something like that. We just need to find something, I think.
We did find something.
I look over at Jenna. Huh?
I said we did find something. Carl burned it.
Oh, well, I don't think Carl burned it.
He did.
I pause. But there's gotta be something else. Or maybe whatever's doing this has a way of putting something else here. The others don't say anything. I don't know, but we can't just sit here. Looking around is the least we can do.
Where is Carl?
Jenna's standing up now, looking at the ceiling. Faintly, I can hear the clopping of Carl's hooves on the soft wood. He's looking around upstairs. Jenna continues to look up at the ceiling, her face stony. Let's start in this room!
He's so enthusiastic. We're finding stuff!
Let's do it! Raven stands up and starts walking along the wall, looking up and down the logs, prodding at the spaces between. Jenna's still looking up at the ceiling, and I worry that she's going to try to go upstairs. Hey, Jenna, can you help me look around in the kitchen? Jenna looks back at me.
Huh?
My ankle still kind of hurts. It'd be nice to be able to lean on someone if I need to walk far, like to the kitchen. Jenna pauses before moving over to my side. She stands there stoically, and I awkwardly wrap an arm around her shoulders. Thanks.
Yeah.
We amble slowly to the kitchen. Jenna stops in the middle of the room and waits. I guess I'll start with the cabinets. My voice goes up at the end like I'm asking a question. Jenna doesn't say anything, so I stumble away from her, again, awkwardly, before finding support on the wooden pantry. I hesitantly start opening some of the cupboards, feeling a lot less into my idea that I was just a few minutes earlier. Jenna stares out the window. So, are you okay? She finally looks back at me, frowning.
I'm fine. Why?
You're being really distant?
Do you need me to stand next to you?
No, I mean, nothing would go over my head. I would catch it. No, I mean, you seem like you're not really here mentally.
I'm sorry.
I open another pantry door to a set of glass mugs. Is it something to do with Carl? I know that Jen is going through something similar to what Carl is. I just have no idea what's doing it or why. Something that wants this to go as unsmoothly as possible, clearly.
I don't have a problem with Carl.
I mean, what you did yesterday.
I just have a problem with the way he acts. He could do a lot if he puts his mind to it.
That's a weird response to what happened yesterday.
Yes.
He undercommitted was the problem. It takes me a moment to realize she's talking about what happened before all of this. So you attacked him?
What? No, that was something else.
I turn around and finally see something familiar about Jenna. Some life in her eyes. Maybe all I have to do is talk about stuff before this whole warp to ghost dimension. I mean, he tries, he just has problems. Shouldn't a psychology major know that? Jenna looks away from me.
I guess, but I'm not a therapist.
So what?
So I don't know.
No, I mean, shouldn't anyone have sympathy?
I'd have a little more sympathy if he'd actually try and get help.
He has, but it's not that easy. Again, I feel like I should be explaining this to someone who has... Again, I don't feel like I should be explaining this to someone who has 4 years of psychology under her belt. I tried to get help, but I didn't feel better for years. Jenna doesn't say anything. Carl's problems really didn't start until his first year of college. I keep pulling up open cupboards, just my heart sinking a little more each time there's nothing inside. I mean, yeah, he had problems before, but it's only getting worse for him.
Well, it doesn't matter what I think about Carl right now. We're trying to find our way out of here, and screwing around isn't going to help.
The little sneaky typos that are out here. It's a long game.
Find out way out of here.
Jenna says it in such a way that I feel like it was supposed to be pointed. There's little doubt now that she heard us messing around upstairs. I sigh and reach up to pull open the last cabinet.
He's not who you think he is.
It's so quiet and deep, I'm not sure that it's Jenna who said that. I turn around, but she's already on the other side of the room, standing next to the opposite set of pantries. Did you say something? She doesn't respond. I stare at her for another few seconds before slowly turning back around. The fur on the back of my neck prickles at the idea of turning my back on her. Why did these damn ghosts have to be so subtle and cryptic? If that's what it is, of course. Seemed like James had no trouble telling Carl about the whole clue-finding crap. Why couldn't they just tell him, or even Jenna, right now, instead of creeping me out? The kitchen isn't very big, so I run out of things to search through pretty quickly. I skipped the area around the window, though, not having forgotten what happened yesterday. Yesterday? I don't know how to keep track of time in this place. I look back over at Jenna, who's still in the same place, staring at the pantry. The thought that maybe I myself could be possessed momentarily passes through my mind. For some reason I doubt it, even though I'm not sure why. I don't really feel like I'm of interest to whatever it's it is that's doing this.
Well, because you don't have an ancestor who has a dog in this race, you know?
Because the dog is Raven.
I feel like Raven is so optimistic and kind of oblivious that a ghost wouldn't want to. It couldn't infiltrate him because he's too pure.
He's ghost proof.
Yeah.
At least not directly. As I continue to stare, I see something past Jenna at the base of the stairs. A ram's horn curling out from around the corner to the entrance of the stairs. I stare for a moment. Hey, I'm gonna go upstairs. Jenna's head snaps back sharply to stare at me, and I swear I hear her neck crack. Just to see if he's found anything. I'll be back. I awkwardly sidle my way out of the kitchen towards the stairs, Jenna's gaze following me the entire way.
Creepy.
Things are going well. Once I reach the base of the stairs, I find Carl standing there. He jumps when I come around the corner and stands straight up, one hand resting against the wall. His eyes are red, and the short fur on his face is all mussed up. Carl? Are you okay? I whisper it, but Carl immediately turns around and starts back up the stairs quietly. I follow him, wondering what it could be. Did he find something horrific? I wouldn't be surprised at all if that were the case. Once we reach the top of the stairs, Carl heads straight to the bedroom. Carl, what happened? Did he find something? At that moment, he turns around and hugs me. It's so enveloping and firm that the air is almost crushed out of me. I grunt and freeze for a moment, listening to Carl huff into my chest. He's holding me like I'm something precious. Like if he lets go, I'm going to be swept away somehow. I'm quiet for a few seconds, letting Carl get whatever this is out of his system. My arms are pinned down to my sides anyway, so it's not like I can respond physically. Hey, are you okay? It's a dumb question because none of us are okay. Carl finally lets go. He turns away from me right away to sit on the bed and put his face in his hands. My shirt is damp, and I look down to see 2 wet spots where his eyes had been. Tentatively, I sit down next to him at the foot of the bed and put a hand on his back. Hey, what happened? Carl sniffs loudly, wiping his eyes before putting his face back down in his hands. The ram sighs before finally straightening up to lean back on his hands, looking away from me.
I just feel like shit is all.
Can I help?
I just had a moment. Couldn't breathe.
I keep rubbing his back, knowing that there really isn't anything I can do. A panic attack? How come?
A lot of things.
Carl shivers under my touch.
And, I feel like everyone's mad at me.
Why? No one's mad at you.
Well, Jenna first of all, but I feel like everyone thinks this is my fault or something.
What? Why would any of this be your fault? He was probably right about Jenna, though.
It's my house, my great whatever is. It's all just my shit.
He sniffs.
I don't know, just being alone gets me thinking about this stuff. Like how I'm still fucking everything up.
Dude, Jenna told us, fucked up things are happening everywhere, not just in your house. I look around. Which I'm assuming we're still in? Maybe? I look back at Carl. What brought all this up? We're all just working together to get ourselves out of here. Carl wipes his face and sniffles noisily before sitting up straight.
I wasn't finding anything, and I started thinking about what would happen if we never do find anything.
That's not gonna happen. These things that are doing this are trying to tell us something, right?
I don't know about that, man. They seem just as confused and angry as we are.
Carl looks up at me, with his reddening eyes.
It's like they're fighting too.
Yeah. I guess they're having some issues. Carl reaches out and I let him pull me into his side. I don't resist, and Carl chuckles.
And it's just creepy being up here alone.
I fit against him almost perfectly, and I lay my head against his shoulder.
Sorry.
For what?
I feel like I should be the strong one.
Huh?
And you've already seen me cry like twice.
Hey, I don't believe in the strong one type of crap. I rest a hand on Carl's thigh, squeezing it.
Remember how he ran away that one time, though, when we were at that party and we needed help and he ran away?
And then TJ got the shit beat out of him.
Yeah. I mean, strong, like, define strong.
Yeah. You're strong for the other person when they need it. And both people will need it eventually. I think he just means, like, not that he has a history of being that, it's just that he feels like that's what he's supposed to do in the relationship or something.
I mean, people have different strengths, and you can support each other in different ways, but Carl, you still can't run away when your friends are getting beat up, okay?
Carl's primary strength is surviving car crashes.
with his helmet head.
Carl shifts against me and he laughs nervously.
You're talking about us like we're a thing.
Aren't we a thing? Look at what we're doing right now.
I don't know, man. It's hard to say when you're stuck in a haunted cabin.
I feel him press his nose to my head, inhaling.
I just imagine, like, if they ever do get together, people will be like, oh, how did you guys get together? Like, tell us your dating story. And it's like, well, we were in this haunted cabin. It's just like this really traumatic, horrible story.
He talked about his 2-foot dick anime girlfriend, and after 12 years, I picked up on the context clues.
He was hinting to me even back then. So romantic. This place is doing weird things to me.
I squeeze his thigh again. Yeah, we can talk about it when we actually get out of here. When the stuff isn't fucking with our heads.
So, we are a thing, but just in the ghost dimension?
Sure, for now.
I'm fine with that. For now.
He breathes in deeply.
You smell good.
I snort. What do I smell like?
Like the ocean.
Dude, I'm a river otter. Besides, the river and ocean smell bad.
The canal, the ravine, the aqueduct.
It's extremely... I'm mixed on that idea. Ocean breeze is pretty good.
Well, you don't go to, like, San Francisco as much as I do. Like, that's some...
No, I go to the places that are more of the ocean and not shitty ocean cities that make the ocean worse.
You just hear, you hear them laying on, like, the horn, like the honk, like a foghorn, and it smells like anchovies and tuna fish and... No, I mean, not tuna
Is that
fish.
really the smell of the ocean,
No,
though?
it's just... There's, like, a weird... I know, 'cause it's like a weird dead fish smell you get sometimes. It's all that seaweed rotting on the beach. Yeah, but your nice beach is not the norm. The ocean can smell pretty rank.
Well, I choose that one.
I choose the pretty beaches only.
And so did Bugs Bunny. He was always trying to get there, but he kept making the wrong turn at Albuquerque.
He was trying to go to the beach?
And at least one of them. I think
every time he's trying to go somewhere different.
Yeah, I think they changed the joke each time, but at one point he's
always Albuquerque, though.
He specifically tried to go to Pismo Beach,
He's
and I'm like, I know that place. I'm 6.
Oh, I'm sure that was a nice shout out for you. He's never trying to go to Albuquerque, though, which is kind of a diss to Albuquerque.
I mean, there's no bigger diss to Albuquerque than Breaking Bad. Carl nibbles to the
That was good for tourism.
That's where he threw the pizza.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Those people had to fight people off their property. Like they got so mad that people kept trying to visit their house to see, and the people were throwing pizzas on their roof, which is horrible. They're just normal people and they live there, and it's not even that nice of a house.
It was such a big pizza.
Yeah, it was like a Costco pizza.
It was some bullshit. Carl nibbles to the side of my neck and I gasp, trying to pull away from him. He pulls me back easily with his superior strength before pushing me back onto the bed, teasing at my neck with his warm nose. Carl, stop. I hiss at him, trying not to burst out laughing. He mumbles against my neck.
Hey, I'm just getting you back for earlier.
I giggle helplessly behind a closed mouth, trying to keep quiet. I can't deny I like this, but Jenna's criticism just minutes earlier has me feeling hesitant. He starts to move lower, but at that moment I hear a metal clang echo up the stairs. It's like why do the ghosts have like a dick detector?
Well, guys, I know you're horny, but it's like, I don't think it's the time. Like, this is like a life or death situation. You might be
I mean, end of the world situation maybe is all you got left.
I guess, but I mean, are you really resolved to that? Like, are we resigned to deciding that this is our doom? Like,
we both pause, and Carl's large, open ears are perked under his beanie. I prop myself up on my elbows and look towards the doorway. I guess we should get back to searching.
Yeah.
With the moment clearly over, Carl sits back up on the side of the bed while I straighten out my shirt. You found something? Raven's voice drifts faintly up the stairs. Carl and I look at each other.
Maybe it's Raven that has the dick detector.
He just knows. It's the sense of smell. Hey, maybe we won't need to.
He just smells the dick. He's like, smells like dick up there. You want to go check?
Yeah. Wait here a sec. If it's nothing, I'll come back up and help you look around, alright?
Okay.
Carl scoots to the side so I can get off the bed. It takes me a few minutes to get down the stairs on my stiff ankle. A few minutes, or maybe even like, say a day or two.
Just inching.